Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm your host, Winnie.
And I'm Mike.
And today we are going to be talking about something I am very fascinated with. We're talking about museums.
I like museums.
Yeah.
Do we have one specific museum in mind?
Today-
Because there are many museums.
There are.
Yes.
There are. There are also different types of museums.
That's true.
But today we're talking about the OG. We're talking about the National Palace Museum.
Oh, here in Taiwan.
Right,
Very
yes.
cool.
Have you ever been?
I have been several times, but not recently.
neither.
And actually, I've been feeling like I should go back. They've put a lot of money into the museum.
Right.
They've redesigned some of the galleries to make it easier for tourists to go. And I seem to remember that they have like thousands, hundreds, they have many, many pieces, and we don't actually see most of them.
Right.
So they're always kind of changing things. So I
yes.
think if you go every couple of years, you'll probably see new stuff. So it's been a while.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about museums. If you get sick of it one day, just go back in a few weeks.
Yeah, it could have a bunch of new stuff on display. So let's find out about the National Palace Museum. And we have another part of our title. I like this, History in the Hills of Taipei. Because if you've ever been there, you know that it's kind of built into the side of a hill in a very beautiful location, and just being there is very nice. So whether you're interested in the history or just want a nice day out in the city of Taipei, the National Palace Museum is a great place to go. You already know that, we know that, but we're going to find out many other reasons to go in our article. So let's check it out.
When I was new to Taipei, my husband and I decided to visit the National Palace Museum. It was named a must-see in our guidebook. To get there, we walked along the Shuangxi Riverside Park from Shilin. I was hot, tired, and unsure if the long walk would be worth it. As soon as I saw the museum, though, I knew it was going to be special. The impressive building stood out against the dark green hills behind it. It looked like a palace that's hidden in the mountains.
All right, so that is the full and official English name for what most people here would call the Gugong.
Right.
The National Palace Museum. So we know national, country, museum, a place with lots of cool old stuff in it that people can go and look at. Palace.
Right.
Let's talk about this word, because I've always been confused by this word in the name of the museum.
Yeah, because usually the museum is a museum. You don't think of anything else. But we have the word palace, which means the home of an official or a royal person or royalty. So usually, you could think of a castle or somewhere where someone, like a princess lives in, or someone really, really rich.
Really, really, really rich.
Really, really rich.
Who probably has a crown on their head.
Right. So, for example, the Grand Palace was built for the former king in 1730.
Oh, okay.
So, in this case, the National Palace Museum, it is a palace?
No.
No?
No, it was
Okay.
never a palace. I think it was built in like the 1960s or 1970s or something.
Okay.
Yeah, generally a palace, like Buckingham Palace in London, King
Right.
Charles III lives there. Versailles Palace outside Paris, the French kings used to live there.
Right.
This was not, but it's because it's filled with stuff from the forbidden palace, from the palace in Beijing. That's why it's called the National Palace Museum. It's a museum of things from the palace.
Right.
Of course, the palace in Beijing there. So that's why we have that as the name. And it kind of makes sense. Back to our article. Let's find out all about this place.
So the article starts, when I was new to Taipei, my husband and I, the author and her husband,
know you were
or their husband.
Oh, it's not
no,
your-
the
okay.
author. Yeah. I would have told you.
Yeah, sure.
My husband and I decided to visit the National Palace Museum.
Sure, yeah.
It was named a must-see in our guidebook. And of course, when you have the word must-see, this is something you have to go check out. Usually when you go and visit a new city, they will have a list of things like, oh, this painting, this mural wall is a must-see, or this croissant at this cafe was a must-try.
Ooh, a must-eat, a must-see, a must-try, a must-buy.
This is something that you really have to go and try it out. This will draw in a lot of tourists. And you know what? When I first moved to Taiwan, It was a must-see for me.
I think I was there in my first couple of weeks here too. The Taipei 101 would be a must-see. Maybe Shilin or any of the nice night markets.
Right.
Raohe Night Market, that would be a must-see. Some people, Ximending might be a must-see. You know, places that many, in fact, most tourists will go to that place. That is a must-see location. All right, so we're going to go to the National Palace Museum. That is a must-see. How do we get there? Well, it says to get there, we walked along the Shuangxi Riverside Park from Shilin. I was hot, tired, and unsure if the long walk would be worth it.
I mean, that's kind of understandable.
That's an interesting way to get there.
Yeah, walking. I mean, there are other ways.
Yeah.
And walking in, hopefully not the summer, but it sounds like it's the summer.
If it's July or August, that would be very hot in Taipei. I've gotten there by taxi and by bus.
Right.
But I've never walked there, so I might try that on a cooler day.
Right.
But this lady, she sounded pretty tired. So while she takes a break and gets a glass of water, we're going to go over to Henny.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。在这2天的课程中，我们要跟着作者来一趟故宫之旅。那先补充一下 ，National Palace Museum 就是指国立故宫博物院，其中的 palace 这个单字呢，当名词它可以指宫殿或是王宫。Winnie 老师在解释单字时有提到 royalty， 在 royal 后面加上 ty， 构成这个名词，表示王室、皇族或者是王室成员。好，那作者提到他刚来台北时，他和他先生决定参观故宫。这个景点在他们旅游指南里面是被列为必访景点，而他们是从士林沿着双溪河滨公园步行前往。那当时他走得又热又累，不确定这么长的路程是否值得。文中他用到must see 这个名词在这边指必访景点，我们其实也可以用 must eat 来表达必吃的食物，或者是 must try 来表达必试之物、必尝试的东西等等。那这边还有一个重点，我们来学 if 或是 whether 引导名词子句，可以表达是否怎么样。那这个名词子句可以当作受词用。举例来说 I wonder if they are interested in this project， 或者是 I wonder whether they are interested in this project。 我想知道他们对这个企划案是否感兴趣。好，接回课文中。
All right, thank you, Hanny. So as we continue on with the article, as soon as I saw the museum, because of course our author was trekking in the heat, she's saying, is it worth it? Well, she says, as soon as I saw the museum, though, I knew it was going to be special. And I must say, the first time I saw Gugong, it was very, very beautiful.
Yeah,
it was very picturesque.
It is pretty cool, absolutely.
It itself is gorgeous.
And we get a good description here. The impressive building, it's big, it's large, it's impressive. The impressive building stood out against the dark green hills behind it. When you see something impressive, you see something that makes you go, wow, wow, it's very impressive. It kind of surprises you. It makes you feel maybe small and unimportant in some kind of way. It's more than you imagined it would be in some kind of way. So, you know, if you've ever stood at the bottom of Taipei 101 or any tall building, the Tokyo Skytree or Empire State in New York, and look up, wow, that's impressive. Or if you even just stand on a cliff looking out over the ocean, it's very impressive. Look at all that empty ocean in front of me.
Right.
Other things can be impressive too. If someone performs in a way that kind of makes you amazed at their skill and talent, that was an impressive performance. It's just something that makes you go wow and is probably more than you imagined. For example, we watched the impressive light show and we all went, wow.
And it's really amazing. You know, if you go and see the National Palace Museum, it's easy to be impressed because it is so big.
Yeah, very big and in a very,
big.
very cool location, like we said.
Okay, well, let's go to Hanny.
作者当时走得又热又累，不确定这趟路值不值得。不过当他一看到博物馆，就知道，哇，这将会是一次很特别的体验。他写到说，那一座雄伟的建筑在后方深绿色的山丘衬托下，显得格外突出，看起来就像一座隐藏在山中的宫殿。好，单字 impressive。它是形容词，形容令人印象深刻的、雄伟壮观的，或是令人惊叹的。Winnie 老师刚刚也有用到2个形容词来描述故宫，他用到 picturesque， 在 picture 后面加上 sque 那它是形容风景优美的。还有提到 gorgeous，G-O-R-G-E-O-U-S， 它是形容非常美的、引人入胜的或是华丽的。好，那这边还有一个重点是 stand out， 它可以表达突出、引人注目、脱颖而出，可以用来指说在一群人或事物当中突出、特别显著、显得更重要。stand out 是做不及物用，那后面常常会接介系词，像是 against、from、among、as、in 等等，然后再接名词。举例来说 ，The boy's angelic voice made him stand out from the other competitors。那位男孩天使般的歌声使他从其他参赛者当中脱颖而出。好，这话课文中。
All right, thank you, Hanny. We are going to take a look at the second part of the article, and then we will be right back because I'm sure everyone at home is excited to see what's inside the palace.
Air
Museum.
conditioning.
Oh, that she's excited for.
Inside, we spent hours in the galleries, moving from one room to the next and looking at the collection of paintings, books, and pottery. One of the museum's most surprising items is the jadeite cabbage. I knew jade was important in Chinese culture, but I didn't expect to find it in the shape of a cabbage. After seeing the galleries, we made our way to the gift shop, where I found jade jewelry and prints of the paintings we had seen. I also decided to buy a music box.
All right, so we are at the National Palace Museum, the Gugong, and of course it is in Shilin in northern Taipei. I'm sure many of you have been there before, and we all know it is an absolutely beautiful building in a very beautiful location, but that's not what we're here for, just to admire the building and go home.
Right.
No, we want to go inside and see all the cool treasures there, so let's get to that part of our visit.
Right, exactly. So continuing on with the article, inside, we spent hours in the galleries, moving from one room to the next and looking at the collection of paintings, books, and pottery.
And many other things.
They have a lot of things. And of course, they have a big collection. And usually museums have big collections that are collected over time. And a collection is something that is a group of things that were gathered over time. So for example, you could say, my brother has a collection of old records. So this isn't something that necessarily, he bought right at, in one go, in one fell swoop. He collected it over time because, it takes money, it takes time to find these things. And of course, in museums, they don't just go and find old stuff right away. It takes time to find them and opportunities to get them.
Absolutely. And a collection will probably be something you have a passion for. It's a real hobby and interest. And it also might be something you do very carefully, right? It's all very organized and clean and, things like that. Because for the people who collect, we call them collectors. Their collections are, something they really enjoy in their life. So yeah, absolutely. A museum will be filled with a collection, no matter what kind of interesting stuff. In this case, we have a collection of many things, including pottery. Pottery are, pots and other things that are generally made of clay. If you take some special types of dirt and mix them with water, you get this sort of sticky material that you can form and shape into things. The traditional way is having that spinning wheel, and you put something on there, and by using your hands and doing things that I was terrible at in art class, you turn it into a pot or a vase or a bottle or a jug or a jar or a coffee cup or probably a really ugly ashtray like I made. And that is pottery. Now, it can be done in a very basic way, like the old Greek and Roman pottery, or you can do much fancier stuff like what we call in the West China, that really fine stuff that came from China. Different types of pottery will have different types of names, like ceramic or porcelain or things like that. But generally, in the basic way, it's kind of dirt and mud that's formed into things that we can use, often for holding and containing food and drink. For example, Alice went to a pottery class to make her own plates. That could be easy. No, that would be hard too. I'm terrible at pottery.
Plates are actually really difficult.
I think they would be difficult.
Yeah, because one wrong move, it turns into a hat.
Oh, or if it's too thin, it just breaks instantly.
Exactly.
There you go. You know who's amazing at pottery?
Hanny?
Hanny.
作者和他的先生走进馆内，在展厅里面待了好几个小时。那他们在各个展厅之间穿梭，仔细欣赏那边收藏的绘画、书籍还有陶器。好，单字 collection 这个名词，它表示收藏、收藏品或是馆藏，它也可以表达一堆一群东西。而相关词性 collector 就可以表达收集人或是收藏家。下一个单字 pottery。它是名词，表示陶器、陶瓷器皿。这时候 Mike 老师有提到 ceramic，ceramic 这个名词可以表达陶瓷制品，还有提到 porcelain，P-O-R-C-E-L-A-I-N， 那这个名词可以表达瓷或是瓷器。介华课文中。
All right, thank you, Hanny. And we are going to continue with our article.
All right. One of the museum's most surprising items is the jadeite cabbage. We could also say one of the museum's most famous items is the jadeite cabbage. I knew jade, this stone, was important in Chinese culture, but I didn't expect to find it in the shape of a cabbage.
Yes, which is also important in Chinese culture.
Which is also important. Obviously, this person knows a little bit about Chinese history and culture. Jade, this kind of natural stone that we find underground, the same way we find, diamonds and emeralds and things like that. It can be quite expensive, so it's important in all sorts of ways. Some people might say it has sort of magical or healthy powers. So that's why it's important in the culture. But this person also didn't expect to find a fancy jade thing in the shape of a vegetable, a cabbage.
Well, because as a lot of people know, jade, expensive jade, is this like bright green color.
Yeah, well, that's true, the color.
Right. So to them, they think, well, I see green, I think cabbage. And of course, they made a beautiful cabbage with it. I've seen it in real life.
I have too,
It is a lot smaller than I thought.
What's still very impressive.
That's true. You're right. It's because it is still jade. It's hard to find. So.
And having those colors to make it look so real is also pretty cool.
True. Okay, continuing on with the article. After seeing the galleries, we made our way to the gift shop, where I found jade jewelry and prints of the paintings we had seen.
Nice.
I also decided to buy a music box. I love museums, but my favorite part is the gift shop.
Gift shops are always, well, you often have to go through the gift shop.
That's true.
But yes.
I love a good gift shop.
And actually, that's a really good gift shop for buying nice gifts.
That's true, yes.
For exactly what the writer told us there.
If your family members are coming to town, that's a good place to shop for them.
Oh, yeah.
And what she shopped, the author shopped there, and she found jade jewelry. And of course, jewelry are these, decorative pieces that are worn on the body, on the ear, on the head, on the neck. So usually you will find maybe earrings, a ring, a necklace. But in this case, she found, pieces that had jade in it or jade pieces of jewelry because, of course, this is kind of going to remind her of the cabbage that she saw. So, for example, you could say Lauren couldn't decide what jewelry to wear to the wedding.
Silver necklace, gold necklace, diamond earrings, emerald earrings. So many choices. All right, let's go over to Hanny.
作者接着提到，博物馆里面最令人惊讶的展品之一就是翠玉白菜。他知道玉石在中华文化当中很重要，但没有想到会是以白菜的形状这样的形式出现。那么参观完展厅之后，他们前往礼品店，在那边有找到玉石饰品，还有他们看过的画作的复制品。那作者还决定买一个音乐盒。好，我们来看单字 jewelry 这个名词，它表示宝石、珠宝。那文中的补充单字 jade 这个名词表示玉或是翡翠。Mike 老师刚刚则提到 emerald 这个名词则表示祖母绿或者是绿宝石。好，那这边还有一个重点是 find 加受词补语是表达发现处于某种状态。动词 find 在这边表示发现发掘。那受词之后要接补语，这个句意才会完整。补语你可以用现在分词 VING， 过去分词 PP， 用形容词或者是介系词片语。好，这边造两个例句。Mary found her cat sleeping on her laptop. Mary 发现她的猫睡在她的笔电上。这时候我们用的补语就是现在分词 VING。They found the house in a mess. 他们发现房子里乱七八糟。那这时候补语用的是介系词片语。好，介华课文中。
All right, thank you, Hanny. I really like this article.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's definitely made me want to go back to the National Palace Museum. But so far, jadeite cabbage, gift shop, I've seen this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, come on. What's something new?
I think we're going to have some new surprising things for you guys tomorrow. So come on back and join us for that. We will still be at the Gugong, and we have to see you here.
When I was new to Taipei, my husband and I decided to visit the National Palace Museum. It was named a must-see in our guidebook. To get there, we walked along the Shuangxi Riverside Park from Shilin. I was hot, tired, and unsure if the long walk would be worth it. As soon as I saw the museum, though, I knew it was going to be special. The impressive building stood out against the dark green hills behind it. It looked like a palace that's hidden in the mountains. Inside, we spent hours in the galleries, moving from one room to the next and looking at the collection of paintings, books, and pottery. One of the museum's most surprising items is the jadeite cabbage. I knew jade was important in Chinese culture, but I didn't expect to find it in the shape of a cabbage. After seeing the galleries, we made our way to the gift shop, where I found jade jewelry and prints of the paintings we had seen. I also decided to buy a music box.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 palace 名词，表示宫殿、王宫。impressive 是形容令人印象深刻的、雄伟壮观的，或是令人惊叹的。collection 是名词，可以表达收藏品、收藏或馆藏，或是表达一堆一群东西。pottery 这个名词表示陶器、陶瓷器皿。jewelry 名词表示宝石或是珠宝。那文法的部分，我们第一个学到 if 或是 whether 可以引导名词子句，表达是否怎么样怎么样，那可以做受词用。第二个学到 stand out 表示突出、引人注目或是脱颖而出。第三个学到 find 加受词加受词补语，是表达发现点点点处于某种状态。那这个补语你可以用到 VING、PP 形容词或者是介系词片语。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Hey, 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 it's KiWi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie.
And today we are playing charades, but with a twist.
Because the clue giver will be controlling the guesser's body.
Ooh, this is a good challenge.
Let's go.
Okay, Winnie, turn around. We have the first prompt. Crouch down. Crouch low.
Like this?
You have wings. Put your wings back. Yes, you have a little beak that's flat and round, and you waddle.
Am I a duck?
Yes!
Now it's your turn. Put your arms in a circle in front of you.
Like
yes,
that.
very good. Tiptoe up onto your toes. Okay, and you're gonna spin around. And then you're gonna make the circle above your head. And jump up and down.
What?
Okay.
Wait, I'm really dizzy now.
Okay.
What am I, a tornado? So I'm doing a circle, dancing ballet.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, okay, that was actually my first thought. Well, that was actually pretty fun. And it's still hard to guess what it is, you know, if you're the one acting.
It's harder because you can't really see what you're doing. You can only
Right.
feel it.
That's true.
And you can only do it yourself. But that's all we have for today. Remember to follow us on Instagram. Send us a DM or an email if there's something you want to say in English, but you just don't know how. Kiki, is there anything you want to say?
Kiwi quack quack later!